Hello and welcome to the Film School Chronicle, your wire right to the heart of the student film scene of Brisbane, Australia. I'm your host, Bryce Quinn, and as always joined by my co-host, Carmelo Keating. Just messed up the words again. And we also joined by our guests today, Sharpe and Adam Schneideman. How you guys going?
Good, how are you going?
Good, how are you?
I stopped that up. It's
Pretty good.
I'm also doing good, thank you.
We should have done voice warm-ups before we started, but it's alright, we'll just jump straight into it, keep rolling. So, you guys are second years with us at Griffith University studying film, and we have all just wrapped up episode of content. We just had about a week of holidayish.
Holidays.
Yes. And we wanted to bring you guys on to talk about your experience on episodic content and a couple of other things as well. But we'll start with the episodic content stuff and your short films that you made. So if we can start with Connor, what was your short film about? What was it in? What series? Everything?
So, mine was called I Saw Someone, but it wasn't my mom. It was a horror short. It's basically like a really mundane sort of... It's a 3-minute short film like everybody's was, but it's basically about a kid just sort of existing pretty much. On the surface level, it's basically him making cereal, him playing with a toy, him, just doing random things that don't really seem to matter, but the sort of underlying storyline is that this woman who he sees who isn't his mum actually is his mum, but she's so far gone due to drug addiction that she's not his mum anymore to him. And so he sees her as basically this like demon type thing, and that's how we see it as an audience as well. And that's how I thought I would like sort of like shoehorn horror into that.
Yeah. Which I thought you did a great job. I'm sure you can agree, Carmelo.
Oh,
Of the standouts from the horror thing for me personally.
For sure. Should we elaborate on that now, or get the quick bit from Adam first, or?
I think we can. Yeah, we'll stay on. I saw someone, but it wasn't my mum.
Okay,
quite a long time.
Sorry. I like that. I must say, it's one of those sort of like your film school titles. You expect one-word title, two-word titles, sort of thing, or just in the film industry in general, people go, succinct and snappy because it sells or whatever.
Yeah.
A longer name, I think, because it's such a standout thing, sells just as much.
Anyways,
it's cool. I saw someone, but it wasn't.
So I remember you pitched it, to the rest of the horror writers, because a lot of us didn't know what the other projects were when we first started, and I was like, what is he on about? I had no idea what you were making or what you had in mind, and then to see it, so to hear nothing about it for the whole journey, and then get to the end of that screening and watch it, I'm like, oh. This is great. This is really cool.
Thank you.
And it was exactly kind of what you described in the psychological kind of horror and that big mystery that's going all throughout it. And you realize, oh, it is his mum.
Yeah.
And that's the terrifying part. It is a very real story.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Really liked it.
Appreciate that.
And Adam, you worked on that one as
Yes,
well.
I
And you
did.
said in the role of lighting assistant.
Yeah, lighting assistant or, sort of gaffer at some stages, but, just lighting.
And how did you find the process of being on set, working together?
Oh, it was absolutely brilliant. We've worked on a couple sets together. So he was actually my D.O.P on mine, which we'll probably talk about later.
Yep.
But I saw the early script, the early draft that Connor sent me, and I was like, oh, I'm so confused, but it's so interested.
Yeah.
And so when I was on set, actually seeing what was going on, I was like, it's like sort of what I could picture, like the shots, the cinematography. I could picture your style through the writing, but it was just really breathtaking to see like how it is actually like your vision is coming to life. And it in the end result, I think it really came together well. So.
Thanks.
And the whole part about the drug addiction aspect, I thought upon seeing it for the first time in the screening, I thought, oh yeah, no, that was like the really more the obvious part. And I thought maybe I was missing something, but I then realized like that's the whole point of the film. It's like it's a more of a realistic kind of horror.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to. This was actually a script I was writing before we even. I think we knew about episodic, but we didn't really. I don't think we really knew what we were getting into until we were actually making the films, essentially.
Yeah.
But but prior to that, I was already writing this, and I actually told a few people, actually told pretty much everyone that I want to make this film, and nobody knew what it was. And I had a few people who were like, "Yeah, let's get on board." And then episodic came up for pitches and everything, and I was like, "Cool, I'll just cut this down to 3 minutes and pitch that." So that's essentially what I did. But with the whole drug thing, I wanted to elaborate that, and I'm really into slow burning film, so I wanted it to be very, very slowly paced and only really start to notice the whole drug addiction thing towards the very, very end. But obviously when you have to squish it into such a short period of time, it feels rushed, and I'm happy with the film, but I'm also disappointed that I didn't get to do what I wanted to do, but you never know. I could, always try it differently in the future.
Are you planning on doing a director's cut?
We don't have the footage, man.
We don't have the footage.
We only shot for a day.
I was going to ask about that. I saw you guys planned it all out just to shoot for one day.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, really well, actually.
Yeah.
Shockingly. Yeah. Hayden was our first AD, and he was amazing.
Awesome.
He was amazing.
Hayden Terramana, another writer-director for horror.
Yes, yeah. He, oh my god, we were perfectly on time, and I've said to him, like, I don't want to sound bad, but I think everyone's had this experience where you work with a first AD who's kind of, get this done now, but it's like, they don't say it in a way that makes you want to get things done. It's almost like, in spite of you, I'm not going to get this done now.
Yeah.
And I said that to Hayden ages before that film, and he was like, let me be first AD for yours, like, I promise I'll be good. And he was. And it was awesome. It was, he'll come up to me and be like, hey cutie, we got this certain amount of time left, and I'll be like, yeah, cool. And it was great. So we stayed on time. We had a second day prepared.
Yeah.
And the actors were prepared. I think one of the actors even stayed in a hotel in Brisbane so that they could be there for the second day if they needed to. And we didn't end up using a second day, which was perfect. And then the second day we just did some audio stuff. Actually, we just met up with them in a car park and did some audio stuff in Sam's car, our sound designer. So yeah, all worked out really well. Again, I wish it could have been longer. That's pretty much my negative gripe with this.
Yeah, we had a similar problem, just in like wanting to pace out something that probably should have been a longer story, but what can you do?
Yeah. I think it's pretty fun to compare though, kind of sort of real world horror film to a more of a fantasy based kind of thing. See the two different perspectives. When you initially said though, because I saw you, I met you before the screening had happened. Just ran into you at uni, and you said that you'd only had like 10 shots for the film, right?
I think 10. I think it was 10. Maybe 12, something like that.
Still a small
it was
number
a shockingly low amount
for
of
3
shots.
minutes, and I was like, I wasn't sure. Like, it was ambitious as hell. You said you shot it in a day. I thought, oh, that was awesome. I wasn't sure what to expect, but when you were going for that sort of slow burn pace, those long shots and stuff like that, it translated really, really well. So.
Oh, thank you. Well, we had to change a lot of stuff on the day because we lost our location the day before shooting. The day before, when I say the day before, it was like a day and a half, maybe less, a day and a quarter before.
Oh my goodness.
So we were freaking out. We were like, we're gonna have to postpone it and everything. And then production designer Clara was like, use our house, and I was like, all right, cool, show me pictures, and it fit perfectly to how I had the script in my head originally, which was bizarre. It was really weird. And her parents had all these weird like art pieces and stuff in their house. So we incorporated that into the film, which was really cool. And we had this long hallway shot, which was going to be a tracking shot and then cut. But then I saw that art thing, and I saw the door, and then I saw the entrance to the hallway. And I was like, we could do this in one shot. So we ended up using a dolly and tracking back, and then panning, tilting up, tilting and panning back down, tracking, panning again all the way around, and then slowly tilting up, and it was awesome. So we covered like half the film in one shot. That shot took like 2.5 hours to get right, and it was, I think it was like 5 takes. So really happy with that.
Yeah, you can tell you're a director who's also a D.O.P. But we've talked about our ones for long enough. Let's jump into Adam's.
Yes.
So it was one day, right?
Yes.
The one you directed?
My short that I wrote and directed was one day. It was actually, I originally pitched for the horror series. Got moved into mask. I think make up for some numbers, but also I feel like mine, you could kind of argue there's a psychological mask about fear, and I'll go into that in a bit detail what it's about. But to give a brief explanation what it's about, it's about a master's student. She's like 26, 25, Jamie Andrews. She's studying medicine, and she's sort of, her work is her life, and her life is drained and sucked out of her, and so she's called up by her friends who are, out at a masquerade party. There's your mask reference, so I can fit in. And come out, live your life. And she's like, no, I got to get on top of the work. And I, when I was coming up with the original idea, it actually really evolved from sleep paralysis. Actually, she was still a student. She still had the friend things, but it was sleep paralysis. And then, when I was working through the story, I kind of figured out what it was more about. And the reason she works so hard and, her life is literally just on her laptop, technology at her desk, is because of the fear of aging, which is a fear I share. And, you know, I'm kind of scared of like being old and being like, oh, you know.
You're so close.
I was like, you know, I don't want to look back on my life and be like, damn, I regret not working hard. But at the same time, you could also say, damn, I regret working hard. I regret not having a balanced life. And so there's sort of a message in there that I wanted to like feed through is that, you know, you have to have a balanced life. Like we have a society has like an obsession with grind culture. You got to be working. If you're not working, you see it on Facebook, you're not working. And so that's what it's kind of about. And not to spoil too much, but the fear of aging, that's where sort of this older self comes into play. And you know, if you watch the film,
it is most definitely a horror film.
Oh yeah.
Well, which is quite different to Connor's. Connor's is more of a psychological.
Yeah.
I took a lot of inspiration from J-horror's Pulse, The Ring.
Yeah.
But I also took a lot of inspiration from, you know, more modern ones. You know, James Wan, Conjuring, Insidious, all that stuff. You know, I've used tropes. You know, it is a genre film.
Yeah.
You can see that, but it translates really, really well though.
Yeah. Well, I think, you know, in horror, if you're going to use like the cliches, like a jump scare or all that, it's got to make sense. Like, you know, there's like that classic, you know, a cat and there's a loud noise. Yeah, or like it's just like a loud noise and it's just someone walking through a door. It's just like, okay, that scared me, but like I need more. And so that's what I kind of hoped I successfly did with the film. But yeah.
We'll leave some of it to mystery.
We'll leave some of it.
Because we'll plug them at the end and tell people where they can go watch them. But you were D.O.P on that one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how did that go? So that was, you know, obviously D.O.P, director of photography, for anyone who's unfamiliar with the term, and director, and that's the duo that you had along with like producer, writer, and everything. And you were on set together making that one. How was the process there, the creative kind of process between you two?
Well, Adam and I. No, that was a thinking, not a negative.
Well, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. Well, Adam and I worked on a film before together. One film. Oh,
we'll say one official.
So one
official,
proper film. Dysmorphic, which was was it directing assessment?
It was a directing assessment. It was like a, you know, short little scene. I guess you could say it's a short film, but it's more of a scene. Yeah.
So we worked together really, really well on that, and that was when I was first starting to sort of learn DP-ish stuff. Like I've always, not always, but for quite a while now, I've been quite confident in like composition, camera stuff. But when it comes to lighting, that scares the living crap out of me. I'm starting to learn, which is really exciting. I'm learning a lot. But yeah, Dysmorphic was awesome, and we told each other literally straight up. We had a full-on bit of like an emotional thing straight after that. Like, dude, we have to work on stuff together. We were planning stuff. We were planning spec ads. We were planning films and everything. Haven't gotten to it yet because we're so bloody busy.
Oh, I know, right? Yeah.
But
caught up with the uni.
Yeah.
The uni
as soon
life.
as this came up, I actually wasn't going to do this originally.
That's right.
And because I was doing my film obviously, and I remember him and Phoenix pulled up in front. Do you remember that? I just walked out of the film school and they had pulled up in front of the film school in their car. Well, they were driving past and I happened to come out at the same time and they were like, DP for our film. That's literally how it went.
You gotta give that context though, because originally, because I was in a different series, I wasn't in horror. I was in Mask, and so you originally there was crewing was only in one series. You couldn't cross crew.
Yeah.
And so we actually found out now we can, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna text Connor when I get home, and we were driving by. We saw Connor. I was like, yeah, I'll just roll the door down. Phoenix goes, BRDP.
Yeah.
And this is Phoenix Jones, your
producer of One Day. Yes.
Couldn't join us today because he's in Winton.
Yes, we're on a Winton trip right now. Shout out to the Winton kids.
Hope you
Hope you're all having fun out there
tomorrow morning when you get to listen to it.
If they can get reception or internet out there, who knows?
Anyway, so yes, please continue.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, our shoot. Look, to be honest, was, in terms of schedule, there was a bit of turbulence, which is a little bit bumpy. We did have to end up cutting shots, which thankfully didn't really affect the end film. If it was a longer thing, it would have, but because of the 3 minutes, I don't think it did. I think cutting shots actually was a really good learning experience with us. Because we were like, we had the shot list, and we're like, okay, what shots work? What shots can we combine? What shots aren't needed to get a coherent story?
Yep.
And when we're going through that, it's not like back and forth, blah blah blah, like ping pong match. It's like, I think we had a good relationship. We're like, okay, well, well, I and then it was like, it's not an ego battle. I think
It's very constructive.
it's very like
always been constructive.
Oh, well, that's
between
correct,
us. Like really, really well. Yeah.
But it's just like I think one of our strengths is we put the project first rather than our own egos, our own artistic things. I think in terms of writing, I think, we got a lot of feedback. We're going off topic, but, feedback from writing and stuff. I
was going to touch on the writing stuff as well, because the writing process I found super interesting for Carmelo and I with our writer, and I'm sure you guys probably went through a similar process of getting that writing feedback, trying to incorporate
Yeah, well, the thing with feedback is everyone's got their own unique opinions on it.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own taste, and so when you hear someone's opinion, I think it's really important to sort of not have your ego and sort of be like, well, does it work best for the project? And if I'm going to bring it back to on set, I think our relationship is really what's best for the project. We have an original shot that I put in the shot list, and Connor's like, well, do you like this framing better? Even though it's not my choice, if it works better, I'm going to say, yeah, dude, that's brilliant. Let's do that. Or the lighting's better than what I thought. I think that's really important especially if you're directing with your DP. Sometimes I like to be collaborative with you. A lot of people, I feel, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of people treat their DP as just a technician, like, oh, here's the camera, do your stuff.
that can be the case.
Yeah.
Then a lot of DPs on the other end like to override their directors.
That's also is like
and
the
they're
two
like, no,
opposites.
use this shot because this shot works better. I'm the DP. And it's like, okay, but I'm the director. So
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like two sides to it.
Yeah.
So I think we come, because we're both writer-directors, I think we both got a real, like, similar taste. And we get along really well. So I think it's a really good
I think you guys
match,
are touching on something that they touch on a lot on at uni. The tutors just leave your ego at the door.
Yeah.
Try and
Yeah.
come in, open mind, be collaborative, communicate well, and try and make a good project. Not just like, this is my project,
Yeah.
my vision.
No, that's good. I think especially talking with the cutting shots part, whenever anyone that far in the process hears, let's cut shots, it's like, oh god, no, can't cut the shots, no. But people overestimate how good combining shots can be, and obviously you learned that with your massive tracking shot, and I'm sure you learned the same thing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Same deal as well with Hunters Nell. So
Yes.
yeah.
But we can jump into some exterior stuff, not just talking about uni for the whole show.
Yes. And Connor,
hello.
you're very busy outside of uni.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you have your own production company, which is but
like videography business.
Business, yeah.
Tell us about it.
I think there's two different meanings, drastically different meanings, because I think when you get an ABN, you either pick sole trader, and then there's loads of different options, and then there's company. I think company is when you hire people. So,
That's fair.
yeah, so I got a business. I'm not at that point yet. I want a production company. That's where I'm headed. But yeah, I've just been doing freelance videography. I basically worked at a cinema for 5 years, which I liked for the first maybe 6 months out of 5 years. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everyone thinks working at a cinema is, you get to sit around and watch movies, but it's more like cleaning up diarrhea. That's not a metaphor, by the way. That's literal.
Our editor Jakob works at cinema, and he tells a similar story.
Yeah.
So that's not very glamorous.
Worked at a cinema before,
Oh, no.
which was a lot of sitting around, but not the good kind.
Yeah, it's not a good time. So yeah, I basically kind of just had a camera, and I was, obviously always been interested in film for as long as I can remember, and I knew how to use a camera, and I was basically like, I'm just gonna drop this job and see what I can do. And I was hardly getting any work. I basically started by just going to places like barbershops and stuff. My first job was a barbershop, my favorite barbershop. I just went to places that I liked, like cafes and stuff, and I'd just speak to the manager, and I'd just be like, hey, you need a video?
You want a video?
They'd be like, not really, and I'd be like, let me shoot one. And they'd be like, all right. That's just kind of how it went for a little bit, and then before you know it, you have you become friends with them instead of working for them or with them, and then you have recurring clients, and I had just enough. Well, not really. Actually, I had hardly any clients, but I hated the cinema so much that I was like, I'll just leave and see how this goes. And shockingly, it went really well. So I've been doing that for 10 months now, I think. Yeah, 10 months. And it's insane. It's just kind of like you get like a snowball effect with videography. I've noticed you'll meet someone, you'll do work for them for a little bit, and then you'll meet one of their customers, and then they happen to own a business, and then you'll do that and you'll work for them, and they'll have a friend who has a friend whose wedding is happening. It's insane.
And then
But so that's your main source of income now, is your
Yes.
videography business, or what did you want to call it?
Oh, I said my only source of income, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's really, really cool. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy doing certain jobs.
What's your least favorite?
Oh God. I don't think I have. I think my least favorite is just clients that are hard to work with.
Right.
Which is just, that could be anything. But most of my clients are recurring clients who really, thankfully need consistent content. So I do a lot of that, and then the only times I'm ever really have clients now that aren't the same people is if it's a wedding, which is becoming more and more often, or if I'm realizing that my recurring clients are slowing down a little bit, I'll like chuck my Facebook ads back up for a couple weeks or so, and before I know it, I've got a load of Randys contacting me, which is really cool. But again, as I said, some of them, I don't know, I've had a few circumstances where I think the base sort of level for a wedding video in Queensland is about $1,500 for a video, but I've had people go, hey, I need you to shoot my wedding for 12 hours straight, and I'll go, what's your budget? And I go, I got $350, and I'm like, oh, you wanna up that a little bit? Yeah, but it's not a money hungry thing. It's just like it becomes slave labor at that point, because you're walking around, you've got a gimbal, you've got a heavy ass camera, you've got your back breaking. You're expected to capture every special moment,
and that's not even including like time to edit.
Yeah,
as well.
exactly. Just filming. Yeah.
Exactly. So you'll film, you'll film for 12 hours straight. Some of the, like half the time they won't feed you, and then you'll come home and then you'll edit for like 3 days straight, and it's like, yeah, $350. That's great. Anyway, off the money topic. I'm with the whole business thing. I'm trying to sort of veer towards music videos now, because I want to get more into the like cinematography / directing sort of stuff. Because I feel like a lot of the time I'm like walking in with a gimbal, I'll just film a load of stuff, leave, and I'm not fulfilled whatsoever. I'm like, yeah, cool, I've used my camera, but I've done nothing creative with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I filmed a music video recently. I'm going to plug this. There's a girl named Taya. And can I plug this?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
There's a girl named Taya. Oh my God, she is amazing. I think she's like 16 or something. 17. Her mum messaged me and said, hey, I've got, my daughter named Taya who makes music. And I think she said actually, I might not say this part. There was something interesting, something really cool about her. I was like, yes, this is exciting. But I won't say it. But basically, I got onto that, expecting them to want one music video, and she was suddenly like, yeah, we need 3. And that's by far the most creative I've been, because I'm like finally getting into like sort of handling a full-on pre-production, a full-on production, and a full-on post-production by myself. And now I've done 2, about to do 1 more, and they've just told me that they want another 3, which is really, really cool. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that whole thing.
Well, just on that topic quickly, do you have any advice for people who'd want to do something similar in terms of just videography in their free time, trying to turn it into money making?
I think the only advice I can give is basically just do what I did, because that's all I know.
Just go around, talk to people, ask them if they want videos?
Literally, you will be shocked, because if someone owns their own business and they're not part of a franchise, they're usually passionate about their business. And if they have someone who's confident and comes up to them and shows that they're confident that they can make something really cool for them, the majority of the time they will say yes, especially if you're offering it for free. Never try to charge when you're first starting. Don't even try to charge once you have a portfolio. Do it for free until you're confident that what you're making is actually worth something.
Yep.
That's the advice I'd give. I'd say, yeah, just go up to places you like, preferably small businesses. Like if there's a cafe nearby that you've never gone to because you go to Starbucks all the time, you see a family-owned business, go to those, and like I said, they're usually a lot happier, and they're usually a lot more passionate because it's their baby. And if you are confident that let me make something really cool for you, baby, they'll they'll
Those exact words.
Yeah, exactly. Say that.
That's your advice.
They're not going to kick you out.
Yeah, the majority of the time, I'd say it's the best way to go. That propelled me into bizarre places that I didn't I didn't think I'd be in. Like, next week I'm gone for a full week because I'm filming it's like a youth camp thing. It's not like a religious youth camp. It's like a mental health awareness thing.
Oh, it's lovely.
The director of The Greatest Showman is going to be there as a special guest.
Oh,
Yep.
Can you take me with you?
I wish. But
dude,
they got a
that's
ton of
really-
special guests. It's awesome. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Gonna hit him with it?
No, who with the
With your
future?
segment.
Yeah, okay. No, I was actually gonna. I know what the future stores for you. The future's busy. But Adam, hearing from you a bit more. A special segment of mine called "The Future Is Looming." Right?
Yes.
What does the future hold for you and Connor as well? But Adam, what do you got planned?
Well, first I'm going to be on set a couple days doing some extra work. Got a couple, just brainstorming a couple ideas. I think I really want to work more in the horror genre, make more of a psychological one.
I would love to see
Rather
more
than-
from you in the horror genre.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, so I'm just brainstorming a couple ideas at the moment. Thankfully, we do have a course I'm very interested in that's going to sort of combine animation and games with the film students here at Griffith. And actually, Carmelo and I have been, over the summer last year, were developing a short film idea that we sort of shelved for the time being.
Because time got away from us.
Yeah, time, and we got caught up with directing. We were in the same directing course, episodic. So I'm really keen to see if there's a way we can sort of combine this idea. I think it would work well in VR. That's something really
Yeah,
like...
definitely would. Knowing what the idea is.
Yeah. I think it would work in VR, but I'm also open, so I'm really excited for that. The documentaries. I'm first AD on Connor's next
Music video.
Oh, it's
video.
Oh,
very
cool.
nice,
Yeah,
very
music
nice.
video.
Yep.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You looked at me weird, and I was like, "Why are you slowing down?"
I was like...
No,
oh,
I was like, I
I'm
thought you were going to say you would first AD on my documentary, and I was like, we haven't spoken
Not
about the
yet.
documentary.
No.
But no, that's good.
Anyway, yeah.
The future holds a lot, though, and
That's right, yeah.
yes, no, that's great. And most importantly, you three will all be sharing a class together next semester, directing and acting. I believe.
Ah.
No, there we go.
What do you
Oh, that's another
I've
project.
already done that one.
Oh,
So I'll be doing
oh.
something else, but
Yes.
hope you enjoy it nonetheless. Rightio, so got to start to wrap things up soon. So I think it's time to plug some stuff. Let's talk social medias and all
First
that
things
sort of
first, CJS Visuals on Instagram. That's where you run your business.
See, it's currently
Yeah, I don't know. You change it like every 4 months.
it's cj5.vi5 is my current.
Whatever it is
tag.
tomorrow, we'll put it in the...
Awesome. I changed it too much.
Send us a
man.
message every time it changes. We'll keep updating.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But that's where you run your business from
Yes.
for videography.
Yes.
So we'll put that in there.
Adam, you've got a personal creative page, I believe.
Mine's just Adam_Schneideman. Schneideman's pretty hard to spell, but you can kind of figure it out.
Yep, but also One Day is up on YouTube.
Yes, I uploaded one day to YouTube and Vimeo. It's on a couple Facebook groups. If any of the listeners are in those Facebook groups, you might find it. But it's on YouTube, Vimeo. Just look up One Day horror short. Hopefully, it will pop up.
Any idea where we can find...
Links in my bio, though.
Yeah, perfect. Any idea where we can find... I saw some of it, what it was in my mind.
Ooh, that's
Yeah, it got me that time. Damn.
Not yet. I don't know what I'm doing with it.
Okay.
We were told we should put it in film festivals, but I don't know if I want to, and I don't know if we will, but we might. So I'm just kind of.
Well, best of luck with the
Yes.
decision making.
Yes.
Keep us updated.
And
we'll
hopefully
plug it.
we'll see both your films at the GSS screening in July.
I don't know much about that. What
Maybe.
date is that? on?
July
There should be.
22nd.
Possibly. I think Sammy wanted to get that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Cool.
so.
Cool.
Well, if that's possible, then I'll be happy for that.
Well, I'm
yeah.
sure the listeners would love to be able to see it there. Just quick thing for the listeners, since you are mostly first years at Griffith Film School, you've just made your first films at film school, if I believe. They've just gone through short film like we all did in COVID last year. So if
I've seen
you
a
have...
couple of them, and they were really cool.
Yes, I have not. But if you have a project that you're particularly proud of, let us know. If you want to come on the podcast to talk about it or talk about your first semester of uni, let us know. We'll be happy to have you on. But apart from that, I think we've come to the end of today's show. So thank you both so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Pleasure having you.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Bryce. I'm going to do the outro.
Go ahead.
This has been the Film School Chronicle. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.